I have a bit of a problem. I love reading, but I have a massive FOMO in a sense that I feel like I don't retain any information that I consume. I actually stopped, or rather postponed, reading for this exact reason. I just wanted a way to document either lessons or ideas or even emotions that the books have inflicted. In today's video, I'm finally setting up a reading journal. I just can't wait anymore to get back at reading, and hopefully this video will inspire you to make a note or two about the books that you read as well. Step 1. Make the journal itself. I am a huge fan of the disc-bound system, as this way you can take the pages out and add them and switch them up, and there's that flexibility that gives you a sense of motivation. Else, there's nothing worse than not filling a couple of pages and leaving the whole journal behind. I know I've been there. For this journal, I thought I'll use this rating book I received in the paperback box. To be honest with you, I've never even heard about these rating books before and still unsure if that's actually a thing. I thought the design is just so pretty though, and I'm very unlikely to rate anything else as much, so I thought it would be perfect to use it as the core for the journal. Of course, the first step is to rip it apart. I cut all the pages out and punched them out. I used my Happy Planner punch for that, as it gives a shape perfect for any disc I found. So I added a few of the bullet journal pages of the bullet journal I don't use. It seemed to be the same size, and I thought they'd be perfect for all the trackers and challenges. I wanted to laminate the cover as well, as it would give that real book look rather than a collection of papers. The last remaining step is just to assemble everything together. I ordered some white metal discs off of Amazon. I found they're a bit sturdier than the plastic ones, and they actually ended up to be that much cheaper than the Happy Planner banded ones. I love that there's also this book-like pattern on the other side of the cover. I thought I'll keep it for the first pages and start working on the next page. I unfortunately didn't pay that much attention and managed to switch sides, but the theme of the video is just to embrace the imperfections. You'll see. Step 2. Make some trackers. I really wanted to include a few trackers, as there's nothing more satisfying than to fill them in. First, I wanted to make a bookcase page to mark all my read books on in a creative way. I used to just use the book stickers from the Journaling Doodle sticker book from the Happy Planner and draw my own books too, but this time I ordered these beautiful book stamps from Studio Calico and thought it would save me some time. I used the brown asymmetrical washi as my shelf too. I thought it works really well. I'll try and link everything in the video description. I alternate stamping them, as I think it added a bit of a variety, and added these pans from the same Happy Planner journaling sticker book as a way to make the shelf pop. I try to go for 50 books total, as that's my reading goal for the year. I initially thought I'll use it to note books I wanted to read and mark them off. That's why I put books to read, but I changed my mind and I think I'll probably just fill it in with the books I read. I also grabbed a few of these Tombow markers and the coloring markers I had as well, just to color some stuff and make the whole shelfie pop a bit. Now, in the past, I used to hand draw the stickers, and that would take absolute ages, so I thought to save me some time, I'm going to make similar trackers on Canva and print them out on my bullet journal paper. Next tracker is the general reading tracker. I've printed out a calendar for 2023 and added a few lines at the side. The idea behind this is to mark books I'm reading and how long it took me to read them. So I thought I'd mark each day I actually read and color code them too maybe. It's kind of my yearly overview and a reading tracker in one. On the other side, I made a countdown tracker for the Goodreads goal that's 50 books a year. I added my Tombow markers and genres. I tend to gravitate towards of the bottom of the page, so I can color code each book and see the tendencies. Now, I admit all of my genres seem a bit made up, but it's something I go by. Another way to do this would be to mark audiobooks versus Kindle versus paperback. Some sort of a pattern really. Next, I added the books read tracker to match the Goodreads one. I feel I could maybe use the same color coding system to mark the numbers off in the numbers column and then add the author and the name of the book and the star rating. It would also kind of work as an index page for all the rest of more in-depth reviews. Next is just a few pages to make it a bit more fun. I love this A to Z challenge, especially at the beginning of the year when every book you read adds to a different letter. It just makes it so fun, and it helps to choose the books too sometimes, as I can just decide which one to do next. There's also a year in review page where I thought I'll put the number of pages read and a favorite book or some sort of a statistics like that, maybe audiobook versus actual book too. Or just simplify and put the favorite book of each audio and or paperback, fiction, non-fiction. I'm not fully decided yet, but this analysis paralysis kept me from making the journal so far, so to avoid that, I thought it best to just set them up and try and figure it out later. Maybe experiment with what works best. I also have a reading bingo page when I set up some fun challenges for the channelers I try to hit in a year, like read one manifesting book, one self-development, what about nomads and whatnot. This page turned out horrible though, not sure why it printed that way, but I'm trying my very best to make it work. It's fine. I'm also excited about a point that says read a magazine instead of a book. I cannot tell you the last time I read a magazine. As I mentioned before, I initially planned to write all my books on the shelf page and mark them off, but instead I thought I'll create another shelf on Canva and fill this one with the books I have in my home or digital library, and that will make it a tracker so I could mark off and a way to remember the books I have. Which one of these shelves do you prefer? I really want a kitten, so I would maybe go with this one, even though it did take me 5 times as long to create a stamping one. Finally, I decided to make a monthly review page as well, where I put all the books I've read and mark them off on the calendars. So I pick a color to mark the whole duration of my reading on the calendar for each book. I'd also pick my favorite and print its cover and add pages I read too. I know you noticed that it starts with June. Is June already here? That's how long I've waited to set it up and thought I wouldn't back plan as I'm not sure of the dates and it's just unnecessary. I kept it pretty cohesive with these main 2 colors of the Tombow markers, but I decided that it does look under decorated, so to add a bit of zhuzh, wow. So to add a bit of zhuzh, like zhuzhing up, I decided to add little dots and this grid washi as well. I started with all the colors of the dots at first and then just stuck with the pink for the rest of the pages as I wasn't too sure I liked the multicolored patterns. I'll just use these pages and try to customize them for my book summaries and lessons and whatnot. I'm sure I can cover the bits I don't like on the pages with the book covers and of course the stickers too. Let me know if you guys keep a reading journal. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate your support. If you like this video, you might also enjoy this one, which is all about how to set habit trackers in your planner. Thank you guys so much again, and I'll see you in the next craft session.